Hello, Donna D'Angelo from the Institute of Christ Consciousness. I'm happy to be here with you again, now discussing a new series called The Correcting Time. The information I'm sharing with you comes from my study of the wonderful revelatory text called the Urantia book. Urantia is spelled U-R-A-N-T-I-A. I was introduced to this book many years ago when I was very young, just starting on my spiritual journey. And I had a very, very strong reaction to the book when I first started reading it. It was like the cobwebs in my mind of the confusion and doubt that I had in my mind about the nature of God and reality was wiped clean. It was like a breath of fresh air moved through my mind as I began to read this book and study what it had to share. And one of the most compelling things was to learn about the stories of our ancient past when we were actually on point and developing our evolutionary culture according to the divine plan. And the divine plan is very well outlined and articulated in the Urantia book. But one of the things that really struck me was that it went into great detail about how our planet got out of step with the divine plan. There are two accounts in the Urantia book. One is in part 2, and it outlines the level just above us at the system level, where there were celestial overseers who are charged with helping evolutionary worlds develop a heavenly planetary culture. Well, at this system level, the personality who was in charge of our world and many others, the name was Lucifer. And he decided that he did not like the divine plan as conceived of in the mind of God. And he decided to take this world and other worlds under his control into a state of rebellion, deciding that he wanted to implement his own plan in place of the evolving divine plan that was already underway. He visited our world, or one of his associates visited our world, and he was able to convince the celestial head of our planet to rebel and follow his plans. This account in the Urantia book of the planetary rebellion is in part 3. And this happened roughly 250,000 years ago. And it has had a major impact upon this planet. I was always very curious when I was young why we had such a vivid culture of war and greed and corruption and illness and poverty, and why these social problems have never been fully addressed. And in reading these accounts of not only the rebellion at the system level, but how it impacted our world, it led me to a great level of understanding of what happened here and why our planet has limped along in its evolution to a higher planetary culture, wherein the ways of peace and love and harmony are the social norms of the planet, not the way we live currently in our culture. I was very gratified to learn in the early 90s that there was a plan of correction underway now on our world, and it was put in place by our spirit parents to help us get back on track and to get in step with the divine plans of evolution for this world. This undertaking is now called the Correcting Time. And we are approximately 35 years on this adventure now of returning our world to evolve a heavenly culture, which, according to some of my spiritual teachers, there is this timeline in which to evolve this planet to a heavenly culture within a period of 1,000 years. So we are in the early phases of this correcting time. And over the course of this series, what I'd like to share with you are some of the programs in place now by our divine parents to help us get back in step. These changes are being implemented through a massive spiritual undertaking, something that is happening not only for us as individuals, but also happening at a collective societal level. There are many things that are now underway, and one of the greatest events that is now transpiring is in the healing of human consciousness, and to help us awaken to the presence of our indwelling spirit, which is here to guide us forward as individuals and to help us grow into a collective society that demonstrates the fruits of the Spirit in everyday life: love, compassion, kindness, tolerance, forgiveness. These are some of the spiritual principles that are now being infused into our planetary system to help us outwork a mindset that is really rooted in separation from God, which is one of the big effects of the Lucifer rebellion, was to keep us shielded from the rest of the friendly universe, wherein the divine plan, as implemented by our divine parents, was unfolding in all throughout the various cosmos and levels and dimensions. What I'm proposing to share with you is very big. It is an overarching depiction of what happened on this planet and how we are now getting back on step with the divine plan for evolving this world to convey a more positive, healthy, and equitable environment for all life here. I'll be sharing more information as we go through this series, but for now, I would encourage you to go within and ask your spirit if this is ringing true, because there is something within each one of us that has all of the truth and all of the information that we will ever need. And I've been reinforcing this concept throughout the various video series that I've been doing. And I really want to emphasize this again, because this is where you will receive the information you need so that you can participate in the correcting time in a manner that will make you feel more whole, purposeful, alive, healthy, and enjoying your human life experience. There is so much sadness within the human heart. And this is because we have been separated from the divine plan and our Creator for thousands and thousands of years. And we have a planetary system of consciousness that seems to promote this feeling of separation and abandonment. But that does not mean that you have to participate in what is still a very recalcitrant mindset that doesn't want to let go. You can free yourself from this rebellion agenda and come into that deeper place of union with your spirit that will convey to you a sense of validation of your worthfulness and your purposefulness to the unfolding of the divine plan here and now. It is a journey that each person is being encouraged to awaken and participate in. And I'm presenting this information to you as a way to help you understand what is happening within your own mind and body. Because there are many new energies of spirit coming in, and they are infusing the human mind and human body with light. And light contains information. And that information has much to convey to our minds and bodies. And so when this light information comes in, it begins to put some pressure on those areas of shadow or darkness, things and memories that we've had hidden within our consciousness. So if you have experiences of memories coming back to your conscious mind, and there's some things that your spirit is pressing you to look at about the past, that is happening on purpose. And your spirit is trying to get your attention to look at those things that you can see and explore, because there is much within us that is attached to this rebellion mindset, and it's a big, fat, stinking lie. It is not the truth, but that lie also contains a lot of pain. And that pain does impact our emotional systems, our hearts and our bodies. This is all a part of what we are now calling the correcting time, to help us let go of the past, step beyond the pain of what we have been inculcated in for many, many thousands of years, and to build a new planetary culture through human effort and collaboration with spirit. What is happening on this planet is massive, and it is not going to be discussed in the media. You are not going to find this information through the major news sources, but you will find out information if you like to explore this. Now, some people are calling this the Ascension, the shift to the fourth and the fifth dimensions. I call it the correcting time, because this is really what is happening. The past influences of our culture and how it evolved are being corrected and transformed. And we are ascending to higher levels of universe consciousness that take place in higher dimensions. And it is really a wonderful time, even though it places a lot of pressure on the human heart and mind. And many people are really feeling so insecure and unstable because of the social institutions that are now changing. And I'll be talking about that in future sessions. So I hope this information has provided a context for you of what is happening on the planet. And I look forward to sharing so much more with you and help you grow into who you are, that you can participate as a fully engaged member of our universe family of love and help change the situation on this planet and improve the conditions of life, not only for yourself, but for many others in your circle of influence. Thank you for joining me again. And here we go on this new series of The Correcting Time. God bless you, and may you enjoy yourself in new dimensions as we explore this. Bye-bye for now.